Hi there, I'm Damon Bonetti, and I'll be reading episode 11, Sirens. Bronze by gold, Miss Douce's head by Miss Kennedy said. Over the cross blind of the Ormond bar, heard the vice-regal hooves go by, ringing steel. Is that her? Asked Miss Kennedy. Miss Douce said yes, sitting with his ex, pearl grey and eau de Nys. Exquisite contrast, Miss Kennedy said. When all agog, Miss Douce said eagerly, Look at the fellow in the tall silk. Who? Where? Gold asked more eagerly. In the second carriage, Miss Douce's wet lips said, laughing in the sun. He's looking. Mind till I see. She darted, bronze, to the backmost corner, flattening her face against the pane in a halo of harried breath. Her wet lips tittered. He's killed looking back. She laughed. Oh, wept. Aren't men frightful idiots? With sadness. Miss Kennedy sauntered sadly from the bright light, twining a loose hair behind an ear, sauntering sadly. Gold no more, she twined a hair. Sadly, she twined in sauntering gold hair behind a curving ear. It's them has the fine times, sadly, then she said. A man. Blue Hoo went by Moulang's pipes, bearing in his breast the sweets of sin, by wine's antiques, in memory, bearing sweet sinful words, by Carol's dusky battered plate for Raoul. The boots to them in the bar, them barmaids came. For them unheeding him, he banged on the counter his tray of chattering china, and, There's your teas, he said. Miss Kennedy, with manners transposed the tea tray down to an upturned lithia crate, safe from eyes, low. What is it? Loud Boots unmannerly asked. Find out, Miss Douce retorted, leaving her spying point. Your beau, is it? A haughty Bronze replied. I'll complain to Mrs. Demassy on you if I hear any more of your impertinent insolence. Impertinent, Boots' snout sniffed rudely, as he retreated as she threatened as he had come. Bloom. On her flower, frowning Miss Douce said, Most aggravating, that young brat is. If he doesn't conduct himself, I'll wring his ear for him a yard long. Ladylike, an exquisite contrast. Take no notice, Miss Kennedy rejoined. She poured in a teacup tea, then back in the teapot tea. They cowered under the reef of counter, waiting on footstools, crates upturned, waiting for their teas to draw. They pawed their blouses, both of black satin, 2 and 9 a yard, waiting for their teas to draw, and 2 and 7. Yes, bronze from anear, by gold from afar, heard steel from anear, hooves ring from afar, and heard steel hooves, ring hoof, ring steel. Am I awfully sunburnt? Miss Bronze unbloused her neck. No, said Miss Kennedy. It gets brown after. Did you try the borax with the cherry laurel water? Miss Douce half stood to see her skin askance in the bar mirror, gilded lettered, where hock and claret glasses shimmered, and in their midst a shell. And leave it to my hands, she said. Try it with the glycerin, Miss Kennedy advised. Bidding her neck and hands adieu, Miss Douce. Those things only bring out a rash, replied, receded. I asked that old fogey in Boyd's for something for my skin. Miss Kennedy, pouring now a full-drawn tea, grimaced and prayed, Oh, don't remind me of him for mercy's sake. But wait till I tell you, Miss Douce entreated. Sweet tea, Miss Kennedy having poured with milk plugged both 2 ears with little fingers. No, don't, she cried. I won't listen, she cried. But Bloom? Miss Douce grunted in snuffy fogey's tone. For your what? Says he. Miss Kennedy unplugged her ears to hear, to speak, but prayed again. Don't let me think of him or I'll expire, the hideous old wretch. That night, in the Antient concert rooms, she sipped distastefully her brew, hot tea, a sipped sweet tea. Here he was, Miss Douce said, cocking her bronze head 3/4, ruffling her nose wings, huffa huffa. Shrill shriek of laughter sprang from Miss Kennedy's throat. Miss Douce huffed and snorted down her nostrils that quivered in like a snout in quest. Oh, shrieking Miss Kennedy cried, will you ever forget his goggle eye? Miss Douce chimed in deep bronze laughter, shouting, and your other eye. Blue Hoo's dark eye read Aaron Figgeter's name. Why do I always think gathering figs, I think. And Prosper Laurie's Huguenot name by Bassie's Blessed Virgins. Bloom's dark eyes went by, blue-robed, white under, come to me. God, they believe she is, or goddess. Those today I could not see. That fellow spoke, a student, after with Daedalus' son. He might be Mulligan, all comely virgins, that brings those rakes of fellows in, her white. By when his eyes, the sweets of sin, sweet are the sweets of sin. In a giggling peal, young gold-bronze voices blended. Deuce with Kennedy, your other eye. They threw young heads back, bronze giggle-gold, to let free fly their laughter, screaming your other, signals to each other, high-piercing notes. Ah, panting, sighing, ah, fordone, their mirth died down. Miss Kennedy lipped her cup again, raised, drank a sip, and giggled. Miss Deuce, bending over the tea tray, ruffled again her nose, and rolled droll fattened eyes. Again Kenny giggles, stooping, her fair pinnacles of hair stooping. Her tortoise nape comb showed. Spluttered out of her mouth her tea, choking in tea and laughter, coughing with choking, crying, "Oh, Gracie eyes! Imagine being married to a man like that," she cried, with his bit of beard. Deuce gave full vent to a splendid yell, a full woman, delight, joy, indignation. "Married to the Gracie nose," she yelled. Shrill with deep laughter, after gold, after bronze, they urged each to peal after peal, ringing in changes, bronze, gold, gold, bronze, shrill deep to laughter after laughter, and then laughed more. Gracie-eyed nose, exhausted, breathless, their shaken heads they laid, braided and pinnacled by glossy combed against the counter ledge, all flushed, panting, sweating, breathless, married to Bloom, to Gracie Bloom. "Oh, saints above," Miss Deuce said, sighed above her jumping rose. "I wish I hadn't laughed so much. I feel all wet." "Oh, Miss Deuce," Miss Kennedy protested, "you horrid thing," and flushed yet more. "You horrid," more goldenly. Happy Bloomsday from the Rosenbach.